Hey, talking to. No, no, no. I
That
mean,
tank is still over there, Luke. And I'm on fire.
thank you,
Ah,
Tristan.
he was over there.
You can be my one viewer. Alright, let's see. Colgate coming in with the rated one. Let's go. Okay. Yo, what's going on, Colgate? Thank you so much for the Fat Daddy raid. Hope everybody's doing good. Thank you for the love. All right, we're gonna start this little oh, podcast. Let me get ready. Give me 1 second. Oh, I just walked in with the Taliban. Everybody, welcome to Colgate. We got 38 people now thanks to Colgate. We almost got 40 people in the chat. Where
What
my
up,
chat at?
Colgate? There he is.
I just walked in with the Taliban. I'm talking this shit with you, right, man. I just walked in with the Taliban. All right. I'm making a drink real quick and we're ready to go, baby. I just walked in with the Taliban. I'm going so hard with my rubber bands. Colgate, what were you streaming? What were you playing, brother? Nah, I got my ice. That's me getting ice, assholes. Hey, Priz, what up? You dropped a plate? Nah, I broke my face. Y'all all assholes, by the way. Respectfully.
Every now and then. Turn around. More than
I broke the toilet? No, I didn't dominate the toilet. Like, golly.
I
Ruby.
dominated the toilet yesterday.
Okay.
It was foul.
Sounds foul. Okay. Anyways, now that we're here, Brother Lord, what up, baby? Perfect perfect timing, man. We're about to start up this podcast and just rolling up Blizzy, and then we're gonna get to it. All right.
Did you say a glizzy?
A Blizzy.
Oh, I thought you.
I know you're excited over there, soldier. Calm down. Too much information? Who gave up too much information? You talking about Ruby breaking the toilet?
No. I think it was my toilet comment from yesterday.
TK did? Raunchy dude? His raunchy ass, literally.
Yep. The fattest in all the land.
Okay, let's see. So I guess we're gonna do this podcast with Ruby streaming on the side. Who's all here? Ruby, Joe, TK, Luke. Sometimes you just gotta wreck a toilet. I get it.
There we go.
That's great. I didn't pre-think of my questions for today's podcast. I just
A cold one. I'd rather have that warm toilet seat in the public.
So since
No lie, because if it's cold, like, makes sense.
So since
But if it's hot out and it's toilet seats like extra hot, like you're fucked.
So since I didn't write down the questions, you guys are gonna have to think of questions for the podcast. All right, guys. TK, Luke, everybody's time lock it in. The time starts now. We're at almost 8.5 hours. We got a 30-minute to hour podcast that we got to lock it in for. Okay. It's YouTube too. That means no F-bombs. Okay. Yes, none of those, please. Okay? So I'm telling you to lock it in because y'all are off the shits. All right. Luke is about one more game into going to the dark realm.
Mother fudger.
All right, so chat, you get to guide today's questions for the podcast. Okay. So yesterday I guided it. It was the first podcast we will post it on YouTube after we get done with this one. But I mean, everybody participate and think of good questions to ask today to the chat and to TK and I, since Luke probably won't be here the whole time. All right. So does anybody have a question to start off with? A good one too. It's got to be a good one. I got a good question already. Sometimes you know that I'm coming around.
Could be anything.
I don't think anybody wants to do the podcast today. They got to see 5 people talking first, and then they'll start riding wiener. You got a question for me? Okay, what is it? What was your favorite band or artist when you were in high school? Ooh. All right, band? I would have to go with like Breaking Benjamin. Like artist? It would have to be like it was probably Webby. Webby got me through high school.
Green Day got me through middle school.
That's a very good shout.
The question was high school, not middle school. Headbangers.
Well, it still got me through high school. It just
count to me.
escalated into like.
It's escalated.
And it
just
escalated
went
to
from
Disturbed.
the My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, actually, My Chemical. We played that in marching band. Actually, we played a few My Chemical Romance songs in marching band.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Twisted, your turn.
And then Welcome to the Black Parade.
Godsmack.
That's another great ass band.
Okay, so we'll do.
On that hill where I live.
Oops. My girl's about to be home with the kiddos. Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you for participating for the beginning of the podcast, then, Joe. Anybody else got a second question? The first question was favorite band and artist when you were in high school from the chat. Anybody else want to answer that or start off with the second questions?
I didn't have a favorite back then. I don't think that I'd like play on repeat.
You didn't have a favorite band back then?
Nah, it's not like genres. You know what I mean? I just play a genre rather than just like have one something that's on repeat.
Brother Lord said I was listening to Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Outkast. Outkast is fire. Red Hot Chili Peppers fire.
Iron Maiden.
You were into Hobson
Red
in
Hot
high school?
Chili Peppers.
What the heck? You were definitely a curated skater boy, Joe. So this podcast is represented with Ruby in the background, live stream on Discord. So, how come I can't hear her audio on the stream? Why can't I hear her gameplay? Oh, well. Hey, no problem, Lampshade. We're doing a podcast right now, actually. All right, so what was everybody's first game they ever played that they can remember? What is the first game that you remember playing? Like, actually
Paper
remember
Mario
playing?
on the 64.
Like, that's the first game you actually remember playing, like, registering in your brain? Electronically? That's the first game you remember?
On console, it was Halo Combat Evolved.
That's console. I'm talking about all time. Mine would be like...
Probably Space Invaders.
Yeah, for mine would be like Nintendo 64 or like right before it. Like I guess before that it was Sega, so I played a fighting game on Sega, but it wasn't like Ninja Turtles. I forgot what it was. I played a fighting game on Sega, and then I also played Brick. What's it called, Brick? Or is it Pong? Brick
Pong?
or Brick or Pong?
Brick's the one where you had to break, like bounce the ball. Pong's the one where it's like
but okay.
goes crosswards. That Brick's a good one though. Yeah, I played that.
I played a weird virtual reality headset from the late 80s. Everything was black and red. So the first game that I can't remember. That's why the first game that I remember playing that I can't remember is like a dinosaur game that my uncle Dan used to play. It was a T-Rex game. It's a dinosaur game. And it was just kind of wild. Call Uncle Dan real quick. Virtual Boy. A learning game on Windows 98 called Putt Putt, but console would be The Legend of Zelda's Link's Awakening. Okay.
Virtual Boy had Mario Tennis, which was pretty fun to play.
Call my uncle, see if he picks up. He
It's
doesn't.
weird just having one color of red for the virtual boy.
Bro, I played Pokemon so hard back in the day. I'd sit there with like under the covers in my bed.
Bro, Pokemon Yellow was my mess, bro. I messed with it tough.
Yellow.
Pokemon Yellow. That's the Pikachu one. Okay,
Just fire red.
let's think about another question right here. So, does everyone remember? Does anyone remember their first kiss? And if you do, where was it at?
I do.
You remember your first kiss? Where was it at?
It was in high school.
You got your first kiss in high school?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was in the band room.
Ooh, you got a kiss in the band
Made out
room.
with one of the flute players.
Let's go, TK. My first kiss. I'm trying to remember. You don't remember your first kiss, Mom? You don't remember your first kiss ever? That's crazy, Mom. I don't know.
All her first kiss happened at the same time. I'm kidding.
My first kiss would probably have to be like Brianna Shockley because that was my first girlfriend in middle school. Like I remember. I actually do remember my first kiss. My first kiss in middle school was Brianna Shockley, 6th grade, and I was at ISSP. And she came and visited me while I was in ISSP, and the ISSP was behind the cafeteria stage, so it was like just a random room in the stage. Like, and she came and gave me a kiss behind the stage. I don't. It was uneventful. Middle school, skipping while at PE. Okay, Twisted. 2nd grade with my aunt's neighbor. Her name was Michaela, and we had a wedding. My cousins were the Bears. Well, technically, I actually got a kiss before that. Mom, remember what was that? What was that shit I won at Pop Warner? When we had the cheerleaders came up and kissed me on the cheek. I had a wedding with Charlene. That was her name, Charlene and Christian. So technically, I kissed Charlene and I kissed Christian too, I think. But they were younger. I think we were way younger. We were like kids, so they was like way innocent. Like it was like, you know. That was homecoming. How old? I was like 4th grade. That was like, I was 5. Okay, I was 5. That's when I was getting cheeks at 5, guys.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, dude. Listen, I was always a ladies' man. Growing
We
up.
got the same age. So
Yeah, I was a ladies' man growing up. I had them. 5 with Charlene. Well, it was 5 with Charlene. Nice. That's so funny. Homecoming, I was 10. Yeah, I was in private school for that. I remember that. So nobody else remembers their first kiss? I was so cute as a kid. I know, I used to be cute.
In middle school, I was the heartthrob to all the high school girls.
Very nice.
Yeah.
When I was in 9th grade, everyone thought I was like going to college.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I swear, bro. Like the because I was so skinny, but the only thing was like I did look young for how skinny I was. Cause I was super skinny. But I had like I had this super long hair and I had like a little baby goatee. You know, not a strong mustache, but a goatee, and it was just enough. You're like 14 or 15? Okay. All right, let's think of another question. I felt like that was a good one. When was the first time you know you got in trouble by your parents or by somebody in or somebody got in trouble? When's the first time you remember getting in trouble?
That's a story.
The first time you remember getting in trouble.
And it's funny because it wasn't even my fault.
It was a sibling or a cousin or something?
No, it was my neighbor. So my neighbor was getting back at like one of the other neighbor's kids, and he made cookies with X-Lax in it and baked the cookies. I didn't know. I'm baking cookies and giving it to such and I put X-Lax, and I was all like, "That's evil," but okay. And like I let it happen, right? And my mom was all like, "You're grounded." Like my mom found out because like the neighbor's mom called and he was at a baseball like tournament and shitting his brains out, and my mom found out that like I was there and like I didn't, even though I didn't do it, she's like, "You're grounded," and I was grounded for like the whole week. But my neighbor who like actually cooked the cookies didn't do nothing.
You didn't say anything. You just said eat
Like
it.
Yeah, and then like the neighbor kid, so like the one that cooked the cookies didn't get like no punishment whatsoever. So I'm like chilling up in my room, just looking outside at everyone having. As like I'm all like, man, this sucks.
No, Mom, what kind of trouble? Just like any type of trouble. Like, I guess the first time I remember getting in trouble by Maja was when I got the paint on her porch, and she made me go get a switch. When I beat the paint with a hammer, there was a paint bucket. I was like 6 or 7 years old, probably even younger than that. I don't know, but she had like a navy or blue porch. I think it was like white paint. I just, because I was a kid, I just took the top of a hammer and just smacked the top of the paint can all over the porch. And my grandma never gets mad. Like, my grandma has a quote saying, "Anything for my grandson I can afford." Like, she's so sweet to me. And I remember, like, that was the first time I was in trouble. Because she got mad. I never seen her mad. I once ate a whole box when I was a kid because I thought it was chocolate. What is X-Lax? Is that like a... What's that?
X-Lax, it's chocolate that you eat and
Makes you shit?
makes you poop.
Oh, wow. Laxative. You ate a laxative. Like
Yeah.
That. Oh, no. That's terrible.
For when you're constipated,
Anybody
you
else
take it and it all comes
remember
out
a story
smooth.
when you first got in trouble? I say that I remember shooting my stepmom or my dad's girlfriend at the time with a BB gun when I was 6. I got in big trouble for that. Remember when I shot Julie with a BB gun? That was some big trouble. So my dad was dating this one of my sister's moms, but my sister wasn't born yet. I was young, and I didn't even have a 410 yet because I was using a BB gun to shoot doves. Yeah, and I shot my stepmama with a BB gun. Oh man, in middle school I was being dumb and broke our windshield with a bag of trash. Oh, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of a time I got in trouble when I shouldn't have. Bro, my best friend's dad literally grew up hating me, bro. Because everything that he owned that was glass, I broke it. His glass window pane door, broke it with my hand that almost died, by the way. The second time was like, me and my best friend were pitching, like practicing baseball in the backyard or something. Like, I foul tip, hit the back of his windshield, right? Ruby, you're about to die. This is someone to your right, yeah. And but there was one time we were shooting a BB gun right in the backyard, and I wasn't even shooting it that day. And Jason was shooting the BB gun, and he shot the neighbor's back window out with the BB. So Mr. Ben came back after the neighbors were like, "I'm gonna call the cops on y'all, this, that, and the third." So he got mad, and He was like, I'm tired of this stuff. I'm tired of you breaking now. I think you're intentionally doing it. And I felt really bad. How many times you got in trouble with me? I got in trouble with you a lot. I can't go into details, but there's some times I've gotten in trouble, for sure. The first one I'll tell you the one I hated the most was when you made me go to that the dumbest. My mom, I don't know what my mom was thinking. She thought because like I don't know what I was. I wasn't really that bad of a kid, Mom. I really wasn't. It's like she thought I was like the I don't know. I guess I beat people up or I was just a bad kid. And she took me to some like getaway program where we had to sleep outside in the mothballs. You remember, Mom? It was so cold. We had mothballs outside of our tent. I had to sleep outside for no reason. Camp Consequence. That was so stupid, bro. She sent me to a camp to get consequences, bro. Like, she signed me up for that shit. I'm serious. No, she spent real deal money to get me consequences outside. I could have just went to Lake City and did that. If I want to go outside and put my fear for my life, I would have just went to my dad's place. I was not bad. Trust me, he deserved it. I did not deserve it. That was the worst. That was the worst thing you could have ever did to me. That made me so much worse.
Momma Duke's exposed in OPG.
Dude, that was the worst part of it, bro. She took me to Camp Consequence, bro. And I was the meanest kid there, bro. I was so mad I was there. Everybody I talked to, I was totally a straight up asshole. I did not want to talk to nobody. The only thing I smelled was mothballs. I was starving. It was cold. And I was actually scared because they're like, yeah, there's wolves and bears and tigers. Not for real, but like they were just saying that. But like at night, I could tell like there was something passing by at night. Like either that or they actually had an adult or like with a stick and brushes going by our tents all night. Because there was actually like possums or something walking around us, you know? And we're all like split up between 6 to 12 feet. And then Mom had to spend the night too, but they sent her somewhere else. I forgot. There was bears, coyotes, and snakes. Yeah. And there was actually something out there that night. And that's what pissed me off because I'm like, yo, there's actually something out there. Like now I'm pissed. Like I already didn't like it. Now I got to be out here in this random place. And like was it Jacksonville? Where was it? I forgot where it was. You suffered too? I don't know. Yeah, I think at the end she was like, you know what, you're right or something. Callahan, that's right. It was a little bit outside of Jacksonville. So like it wasn't like country, but it was like bigger than a backyard, for sure. They took us like off a trail somewhere. So I'm like, man, this junk is stupid. And I was like, that was probably the only time I got in trouble for no reason. I felt like I didn't deserve it. Camp Consequence, bro. That was the worst, bro. It was like 2 days, right? I should have signed you up for the summer instead of a weekend. That was 2 days too, right?
Oh my gosh.
It was 2 days, bro. That shit was terrible, man. I'll never forget that, dude. I did get in trouble a lot when I was a kid. Now that I think about it, dang, man. I got in trouble a lot.
OPG's gonna be like, Mama Dukes, I'm sorry.
Dude, I was like, when I was a kid, bro, like, I started fighting really, really young. Yeah, I started fighting really, really young. Like, I think like by the time I was 15 or 16, I registered more than 20 fights easily. Like 20 to 25 fights. Like what
you're saying is
there was a year
you could have went pro.
No, there was a year 13 to 14, like my 8th grade to 9th grade, going to high school year. Oh my goodness, bro. I fought maybe 12. I was fighting once a calendar month at least. Like a scheduled fight almost. I would be fighting after school, at the bus, at the park. it would just happen, man. You fight a friend on because the tempers are flaring, and or something. Just all types of stuff. Yeah, teenager, I was bad, bro. I jumped off the porch very young age. I jumped off the porch at like 11, 12, maybe. Lakeshore Middle is what turned me to a demon, Mom. That school. You know what? The first day of middle school is what turned me to a bad kid. I went from private school to a middle school, public middle school, and I got bullied my first day. And I came home crying. And I let some little kid named Matt Tucker bully me. I don't regret it. I mean, I had a great high school. My high school life was amazing, honestly. I just hated the nights. The nights and the mornings were terrible. The day life was amazing. Getting up and getting to point A or point B or dealing with the traffic was terrible. Like, not actual traffic, but like all the above traffic. But yeah, dude. You caused a lot of grief. I don't feel bad about my high school. I learned a lot. I did feel bad. I will say the only thing I do feel bad about, like where I knew I was wrong at, was what was it? Oh, 2 times. This guy named, do you remember DJ Bobby? He said there was a guy that said I broke into his house, and it was like a terrible day. Like the day, like we hung out like the day before his house got broke into, and apparently his house got like hit at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. And my mom called me, and I was at like Denny's in Orange Park, which is like on the other side of town where he was at, so it wasn't even possible. Like that was my alibi. Luckily, like my mom called me at 2:30 is the reason why I wasn't in jail that day, because he just randomly said he was like, well, he was there the day earlier, so I think he's the one that did it. And I had a college exam for not like it was exams day morning, so like the cops were at my house at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had an exam like an hour and a half later. You remember that? What was that? IHOP or Denny's? One of the two. And I felt bad about that because like I basically got blamed for that. And I didn't do it, but really it was somebody that was like he knew from me. So like because of me, he would have never met the person type deal. You know what I'm saying? So apparently they hung out later, and he was the one that did it. You don't remember that one? It was right when we were on San Juan condos. It was college. He was the Chick-fil-A guy. Remember the white kid Justin and Bobby. And like it was like 6:30 in the morning. The cops came to the gate, and they're like, "Hey, we got to question your son about a breaking and entering."
A B&E.
Yep.
Yeah, dang.
Mm-hmm. And I showed my mom's call at like 2:30. You do not remember? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you calling me at? You asked me. You called me at 2 o'clock. It was a Friday night. Going to a Saturday night, you called me, and you're like, "What are you doing? It's late." I'm like, "I'm in Denny's or IHOP on Orange Park. I was on Wells." And you're like, "Well, you got an exam in the morning," because it was a Saturday exam because he had to go to the weekend to go take the class. I remember. I mean, for the exam, for the last exam of the course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, teenager, I was bad. You choose to forget. High school was bad. And then the second thing I felt bad about was when I broke up the autistic fight in middle school, because there was a autistic kid, and some kid like was bullying him, and I didn't like it. And I took it in my own hands to be like, the negotiator or like the good guy. And I just beat the brakes off this kid because he messed with the autistic guy. And I remember my dad came home and beat the brakes out of me, bro. He came from Lake City to Jacksonville to beat the brakes off me. And I felt bad because I got a 3-day suspension from middle school. It was the first time I got suspended from middle school. And that's when I actually started like being a bad kid. Because remember middle school, I think Miss Roundtree and was the lady that wrote me up a lot, but she ended up passing away later in life. But what was it, 28 or 32 referrals? I don't know how I wasn't expelled out of school in middle school. Lakeshore Middle, I don't even know how I didn't like end up in like. But it really, I wasn't a bad kid. I was just very vocal. So like the kid, like because I was big and vocal, like they would always be like, "Oh, he's loud," or "He's a class clown," or "He's this and that." So I'd get all these stupid referrals, bro. Like I'd get written up for like coming into the class saying good morning. And they're like, "Oh, he's trying to he's distracting class, being loud and disruptive." You know, or something like that. I would come home with a new referral like every week, every 2 days from the same teacher. It was so bad that I had to switch to the portables. Tell us something you're proud about. What, young age or just in general? I got in trouble for throwing my skateboard at a car because they tried to hit us when I was only 13 or 14. Oh, Mom, remember the egg incident? Bro, dude, we were bad, dude. 13, 14. With my friends and I forgot what it was. In general? Okay, I'll say something I'm proud about in general. Well, I forgot what it was. But we had like 5 or 6 friends, twins, Jason, Justin. Like we had like 5 or 6 friends. And they had got some eggs from either my house or like the gas station at the corner. And they left from my house and they were going over to my grandma's house, which is like just over the bridge from my mom's house. So maybe like a 5-minute walk at max. And they were just launching eggs at cars passing by over the bridge. And then like a car or two actually got hit. And I forgot who it was. 2 out of 6 of us got pulled over by the police and they let us go. But they were fucking with us at first, saying that it was throwing projectile missiles or throwing projective objects in traffic. It was like they were trying to make up a charge. But it was funny what they said. It's like throwing. I'll never forget that. That's crazy. You threw a skateboard though, Twisted. That's wild. Those hurt. Something I'm proud about in general is probably like. I'll say saving that lady at Walmart was super cool. I was talking to TK about it yesterday. Was it TK or Voices? Remember someone said they busted their head open? What was it?
It was me.
It was you? Yeah. I saved a lady. When I saved that lady at Walmart. It was pretty cool. You're a tomboy growing up? You saved your buddy's life? That's pretty cool. I did save Maja, but that I don't like. The fire is also my weakest moment. You know, it's my worst moment in life. So I don't. That's not my most proudest moment either. You know. There has been times I've did heroic shit. Yes. I never felt like that ever, but after the fire, I feel different. Yes. It's a different feeling knowing that you're responsible for the continuation of a life, you know? If you're not a doctor, it's a different feeling. I would say another proud moment is when I killed a BB, killed a dove with a BB. That was pretty gangster.
A dove?
Yeah, I shot a dove in the air with a BB, using a BB gun. So doves fly about 15 to 30 miles per hour in there. So imagine a dove just flying by and I just hit it with a BB gun, hit it in the head, just pops out of the air. No gun sound, just a little tink. You just hear a little tink.
Well, mink mink.
Oh, that's crazy, Joe. That makes you proud. The symbol of peace. What are you talking about, Walmart? What are you talking about, Mom?
You're talking about the W shot.
Oh, the dove is a symbol of peace. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess.
it is.
Oh yeah,
And you headshot it.
yeah. That makes me pretty proud. Yeah, Dad was happy as hell. Dad was like, I can't believe that's my son. He was like, there ain't no way that's my son. That's exactly what he said. He said, when he seen it happen, he said, there ain't no way I'd have seen that. I was like, yeah, I did that shit. He was like, that was the day that he gave me a single shot 410. That's why it was my proudest moment. Because I was like 8 or 9 years old. I've been shooting BB guns for 3-4 years. I just told you I got in trouble for shooting my stepmom with the same BB gun. You know, shot my stepmom with the same BB gun 3 years ago. It's time for me to upgrade. I got so good at shooting a BB gun that I was shooting living animals that fly out of the air. That's insane with the BB gun. You know, I skipped the pellet gun phase. I couldn't even use a pellet gun. I don't even know if that could kill a rabbit or a squirrel. I've never even tried it. That was a good memory. It was an amazing memory for me. That was on Chester Stokes' land before the pond was even made. That's a great memory. I got it. That was the first time I was passed down the single shot 410. You mean more memories? Okay. Another fond memory or good memory. It's gotta just come off the top. Let's see. I would say probably Bobby Bowden's football camps. The Bobby Bowden football camp 2 years in a row was super fun. Going with Ulysses Bryant and Aaron Burrows and Maurice Mervin was super, super fun. Becoming the superstar of the first year with Aaron Burrows was super dope. Me and Aaron Burrows, our first year with the FSU camp, did really, really good. We outperformed like 180 kids, you know, that all paid the same price that we did to get in. We got to stay on the real life dorms. We got to eat 2 or 3 times a day like the college students do. Like the real, like we were treated like football players that don't go to the school but are like playing for the team, you know? That was super dope. This like the feel of it all. Going in the camps, not being able to drink Gatorade, only being able to drink Powerade. That was super cool. Cause my grandpa graduated from the Gator, Gainesville. He's a Gator for life, and his roommate wasn't Papa's roommate Steve Spurrier and the guy that made Gatorade. So to me, that's what made it even cooler because I'm like, dang, my Papa kind of knows the dude that made Gatorade. He came to drink Gatorade over here. You didn't make Gatorade? What was it? He was the coach. It was Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier was his roommate, though, right? I know Steve Spurrier, who the coach is. He was a Heisman. Yeah, well, I didn't know which one it was. But, like, at the time, you know, that's what I thought because I was a kid. It didn't matter. That's what I thought. It doesn't change the feeling that I had. You know what I'm saying? I was just enjoying it. It was awesome to me. He hunted with them. Oh, okay. So who was his roommate? Wait, he hunted with Steve Spurrier? So that means he was actually his friends. I thought he just bunked with him. But yeah, that was probably a good moment. But the Bobby Bowden camp, that was super dope. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Yeah, I remember he was talking about his famous roommate, and I know that Steve Spurrier and him were like either roommates or like I didn't know they hunted together. That's wild. It's actually kind of wild. Um, Another good memory I'll say is like most of my favorite memories are hunting. Mom, I'm not gonna lie, it's mostly hunting memories that are like descriptive and detailed that actually have good playback value. Um, Ruby, I feel like I've been watching this game for 90 minutes. How long have y'all been playing this
This is a
game?
pretty long game.
Yeah,
This is awful.
Yeah, I've been playing for 90 minutes.
I finally had a tank kill.
I'm proud of you for that.
It took me like 10 years to get across the map.
I've been watching Ruby get like plane kills, like tank kills, AA kills, 2 crits, 2 timed kills.
Ruby knows where she's going. She knows all the
Bob
stuff.
Dilla,
Oh,
this
dear.
old house. So my papa's roommate was Bob Dilla. There you go.
TK, have you got something you can But never mind.
That's kind of cool.
I'm upside down.
Yeah. Do you remember that though, Mom? When we got when me and Aaron Burrows got MVP
Ruby,
on both
come help me,
sides?
please. Ruby, turn left.
And we got a picture
Fell off
with
a
Bobby
cliff.
Bowden already with Mervin, and then yes,
You've
of course.
driven off a cliff?
Ruby's just flipped someone else, I think. I think Ruby's flipped someone.
That was probably my proudest sports moment as a kid because like it made me realize that I'm actually really good at football. Because like when I was a kid, they never used me for what I was good for. You know, like I was just a big kid, so they just put me on the offensive line. You know, but I really wanted to play quarterback or like tight end. Like I always wanted to play a skill position because all my friends, since I'm the offensive line, would be the quarterback, the running backs, the wide receivers. You know. My mom will tell you all my friends were skill set position players. So when I go play basketball outside, I'm playing with the fastest people and the people that are the best, you know, out of all the hoods or all the schools. So I'm just this big white guy that's athletic, and I couldn't play quarterback. They wouldn't let me play quarterback or play like, you know, they act like I was uncoordinated or something. They just treat me for what I was, and when I beat out all those kids at Florida State and I got to shake Bobby Bowden's hand and met Christian Ponder and I caught a pass from Christian Ponder and stuff and played in the final game and I won the championship over my friend.
Oh my god.
And when we got back, I remember Miss Ina and them were bragging about it heavy. They're just like, yeah, my son did this, my son did that. And my mom couldn't really see it, but Mervin was there for it. Mervin and Ulysses Bryant were there for it. And they'll tell you that I think I was the best kid at that camp that year. Like, they put me on a notice to check at a certain age because I was young. So I was class of 2012. They put me on a notice that basically saying, like, hey, at 15 or 16, we're going to holler at you. You know, just to see what you're up to. But I wasn't even playing football then. I literally that last year of Florida State camp was the last year I ever played football. 14. I had too many concussions. I had 3 concussions at 14, bro. All in the same year. Remember that, Mom? 8th grade, I got hit by a bathroom door. I got a baseball concussion from a foul tip. What was the 3rd concussion from? I slipped and hit my head on a pool with Gabriel. I slipped in a pool. Man, I tell you what, my life was eventful. Yep. My life was eventful, bro. From 13 to 18, bro, there's no way. There's no way, bro. My mom, nobody could handle me, bro. My mom, my dad probably couldn't even make me sit down, bro. No way. Oh, that's crazy, Joe. Yeah, I didn't grow that much. I was 6'2" at like 12 or 13. I was really tall, and I think I stopped growing at like 16 or 17 though. Because I hit like 6'3" and a half, and I would always tell people I'm 6'4". But everybody, like my mom knows I'm 6'3" and a half. 6'3" something. I just always say 6'4". Oh, that was at Willie's house. I remember that. And then I walked back to his house and fell asleep. Yeah. So I had a black brother growing up called Willie White. Right? Before his people went to jail. And that's where I slipped and broke my head. I said broke my head because I really almost cracked my cranium. Didn't even know it. And now that I think about it, like they didn't take good care of me in that situation. They just let me come home concussed, sleep. I wandered around and got lost. That's what it was. I don't know what it was. I just remember they let me go. I remember you coming over and me waking up in their room or something. I also got lost in what was the Vegas casino that I got lost in? The famous one? I got lost in the Pyramid Hotel. I got lost at Disney too. Yes, I've been lost 3 times. From a concussion, once at Disney World and once at the Pyramid. And I told him about the Cancun thing yesterday. That was on the first podcast when I forgot what the question was, but I was talking about like when I almost drowned in Cancun and you freaked out because you didn't know where I was at. And I remember because I was talking about snorkeling. Yeah, that was the worst day ever. I was terrible, Twisted. I'm weak, Magnum. You got lost in the Mall of America. I got funny story about Mall of America. My plane got held back or something. I got lost in Minnesota. Was it Minneapolis or St. Louis? I think it was St. Louis first. I think I got stuck in St. Louis, and then like I ended up, yeah, I got delayed, and then I ended up having to like walk around St. Louis. I'm like, man, St. Louis Rams. This is where the Rams are from. You know, I was like, damn, this is cool. And then I went to, then I had to stay an extra day, and then I ended up going to the Mall of America. But I only went to the door because I didn't have time to actually go into it because I had to go catch a flight to go to St. Cloud, an hour away. I'll never forget that I caught a delayed flight, and I was supposed to be at like a work the day before there, and I called them and was like, hey man, I was already supposed to be there like a day ago, but like I'm late and I'm stuck in like St. Louis at like 3:00. They're like, oh my goodness, we didn't know. I'm so sorry. Like they didn't even know I was on the way, bro. So they got me like a 5-star hotel that I gotta get out at by 11, and I clocked in at like 6:30. Yeah, I know. That's what I was talking about. Minneapolis. That was only 10 years, right? That was only 10 years ago? It feels like 20. That does feel like a long time ago. I was dating Trinity. That's what I'm saying. That's why I ended up with the Mall of America. But I first ended up at St. Louis. But I'm just talking about like how I ended up at the Mall of America. Because like I remember they told me that I had to be ready by 9 for the flight. And I had to get out of the hotel by 11. And I just clocked in at 6:30. So they gave me a 5-star hotel to basically get free breakfast and to sleep for an hour. So I'm like, wow. It was the Grayton. The Gayton. The Gayton Hotel. St. Louis is probably where I was delayed. But St. Louis is where I was delayed the first time because I called you from Denny's. Remember I had no money? I had like $20 in my name. I was scared. I was freaking out. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. It was the Denny's stuck. No money. St. Louis, walking across the interstate. That's all I remember. I caught 3 flights. I caught one straight shot to St. Louis. So I was stuck in St. Louis for a little bit, and then that's when I went to Minneapolis. Then I was stuck at 3 a.m. And then I took a little flight to St. Cloud, and they drove me from St. Cloud to where I had to go. It was a great job, but it was scary. Like I was 3 days 18, bro. I think I was like, my birthday was June 14th. I think I was like June 17th. I was gone for a month and a half almost. I was like, no, it was like 5 weeks almost. Right shot, 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. 21 to 24 days or something. That's where I learned about the military, TK.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's why I learned about the bunker rats or whatever you called it. The bunker chick.
The barracks rats?
The barrack rat, yeah.
Or the barracks bunnies?
Mm-hmm. I did a good job on it. They said I made the best after action reviews.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I was a guy, you know I got shot at? You know how many times I got shot? I got shot like 300 times. You know that? You shot me 300 times. Yes, with blanks. Yes, I know what they feel like. They're like little pellets. Yeah, fake bullets.
Those are always fun.
Yeah. I was the scenario guy. I would like get all the people in all the fake terrorists, and I would tell them to play a scenario, and then I would have to be the guy filming it through all that. Like I would have to take the fire, and I would have to sustain the fire and record it. You know, it was kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 18 years old as a AAR review. You know, like I'm 3 days 18 making after action reviews for the military, for like watching y'all set up perimeter defense and Abrams and just freaking. You know, I don't know the exact names, but like Humvees and like, you know, just all that shit. There was
fun shit.
Yeah, there was a scenario. There was a live fire scenario where we, of course, like we're not. I can't like be in this shit, but it was right shy at nighttime. It was my first time doing night vision. It was insane. Thank you, Mom. I thought I'd know. Wait, you helped me get that job? Or I thought I got it when I was in the program. I thought I got it from one of the guys that were there at the ASVAB test day. Because I did really good on the ASVAB. I failed on the car part, though. So I didn't get no job from that day. I thought so. You were just like, oh, you're already placed. Oh, and they didn't piss test me because I was straight out of the program. You know, they're like, oh, he's clean. He just got out of the program. I remember I met him at a mall or something. It's like a 5-minute meeting. He's like, all right, next time I'll talk to you. He's like, I don't think I'll ever see him again. He's like, next time you talk to me, you're gonna be in Minnesota. I was like, okay. Yeah, because that's why I was confused. Because you're like, oh, don't worry about it. I already got you placed. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, we already found a placement through this program or something. I didn't know how you. I guess the way you worded it made me think that you found it through the military program. But yeah, dog, quasi military trained. That was a good moment. We helped a lot of people. I was the first person to get a basketball hoop installed for that program. So now that program has basketball for every every person in the program, and they've been on. Think about it. They've had that program for I don't know 20 years now, 25 years. In the first 12 years, they never played basketball or football. They're just outside, you know. And you know how it is on a base. I'm talking about deep in base, like 3-4 miles into base, where all the simulators, trucks, and stuff are. You know? Ain't nothing out there, bro. Ain't no gyms out there. Nobody going 4 miles into base to play basketball. Learned about military police too, because of them. Another program. Yeah, I was in programs. I'm telling you, I spent about a year in programs. For sure. It sucked. That's why I was ready to break out. All the time. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was always talking to somebody. I don't know them. They don't know me. And there's something wrong with me. You don't know me. You said help? Nah, it made me crazy. It made me want to break out. I say another good moment was when we made a court in Lake Asbury. Was it called Lake Asbury? We made a basketball court through our community service through that. Like we actually made. Of course, they have basketball in the program now, but that's just like a little hoop. I don't know if they actually have a court there now, but we made a court in a community park in Lake Asbury. If I ever went back, I'll know which one it is. So technically, we made a park in Lake Asbury. And I was an ambassador for that program, so there was like random wild generous shit that they'll let us do. Like we could leave the base if they'll let us do generous shit like paint a house or like clean up a whole like establishment or something. They would do it like just do wild shit like that. So I definitely think that program helped me for sure. I did travel with the general. Oh yeah, TK. I traveled with the what star was he? Was he 3-star? I don't know. I was a 3-star general, bro, representing the military academy.
Damn.
Yeah, because I was an ambassador. I was one of the most vocal guys, and I won out. Yeah, he's 3 stars. Major. I forgot, but he paid for my dinner. I had to eat every meal with him. Vasquez made. Yeah, Major Vasquez. I mean, the Master General Vasquez. Bro, I was running up his tab, bro. You know that? Bro, they gave us 3 meals. You know what I'm saying? Because, it was like a recruiting trip. You know, they come and we do a presentation, and I'm a live representation of the academy, so I got to show them how to toe the line. I would have to talk how they want me to talk. I'd have to tell them about the program and tell them how it is being in there about to graduate, you know. That was fun. I'll say that, Mom. That shit was fun. Being treated like an icon for the program. I really smashed that program. I did really good at that program. I had double ear infections my first 2 weeks. I'll never forget that. That hurt so bad.
Double ear infections? That's good.
Yeah, 2 ear infections, both on each side at the same time. I remember calling my mom on my 5-minute call my first 2 weeks, freaking crying, dude. I was boo-hoo crying. I was writing her letters talking about like get this done, help me. I kept on going to medical, and they just kept on like sending my mom like, because like even though they send us medical stuff, like they would still send her a medical bill. I'd be taking little stuff like I would never take, even to this day. Like they were, like sleepy, like melatonin. I never knew what melatonin was till I went to that program. They're like, yeah, you take this melatonin, this Advil, these like random things. But yeah, I definitely smashed that program, Mom. It was dope. We're lucky. And I'll never forget that Thanksgiving. I don't know what I did. I don't know what happened that Thanksgiving, but oh man, that Thanksgiving before, I remember I was at the condo by myself. I don't know where you went or like what happened, but I was cold. That was the day I had to like cut it out because I had to be ready by January. And I pissed hot. Like I was pissing hot 24 hours for the program, bro. That was probably the wildest time. Mom, you gotta admit, that was the craziest shit ever. That was probably the craziest thing ever. Because I had always smoked from like probably 14 years old. You know, like not heavy, but I started smoking heavy like 15, 16. So the program, I was 17, about to turn 18. So I had to stop on Thanksgiving because I was already pushing my limit because, you know, it's a month. Thanksgiving's the 20 something, and I think the 6th was the day I started, or the 9th or something, January something, like the very first week of January. So I was like, I got to be clean for a month. And I remember that Thanksgiving, I was so sad because I was young and I was getting ready to realizing that I'm about to be an adult and like shit's about to start getting real. And we were always in a shitty location, like bad part of town. I was fighting my own demons. Like I didn't know like what I would do wrong. Like if I like, is it because I'm doing bad at school? My family's not gonna want me. I need to do this program. I had to quit smoking. I don't drink. I was never a drinker then. She'll tell you, I didn't start picking up the bottle till like maybe last year, and I was pissing hot 24 hours before I went to the program, bro. We never had one good piss test. We never had one. We went in there hoping that it just worked. We spent like $150 or $180 on detoxes. We tried test one, and it didn't work. And I was like, oh, I just did that for nothing. And then we doubled up the dose. It was terrible. I'll never forget that taste. You know, I'm a big dude, bro, so I had to get the big detox bottle, bro. You know, like it's like a big cleansing bottle or whatever. It was disgusting. I had to hug my mama, and then they started making us pick up our bags, doing push-ups, and we had to carry our bags, which were like 40 pounds or 30 pounds at the time, and do push-ups and run a mile, then get transported to our base.
Goddamn, I need some water.
What, the detox, Joe? Yeah, it's terrible. Detox is terrible. I'll never forget it. It tasted like... You getting ready now? Okay, sounds good, Mama. But yeah, it was really good to do a podcast with my mom here, because, like... It sounds good, Mom. because like she can second up on all these stories that you can actually get some real life information of OPG. But I really did a lot of in my life. My mom would tell you I'm not no superhero, but if I get enough money, I can make it a movie. You know, I got enough to make a real life movie that makes somebody open up and be like, dang, that's kind of wild. So, um, but yeah, so some more truth telling story is we can go on the back burner of saying like what as a moment that's made you different, you know, what is a certain moment that's made you different into a likable or non-likable way. It could be any way, you know. If something happened to you that made you more stern or made you more of an asshole.
Quite that there's twisted.
But there has to be a situation that has made you feel different or made you feel like I'm either in the right place or I stand out more than these other people. And not for who they are, just for the moment because of what is happening, not necessarily people in general. Like I said, an invigorating different moment is when I saved that lady at Walmart. I felt different because not everybody else is willing to. Not a lot of people can react to that type of stuff. And where I was from, and being how young I was, there's a lot of situations that I've done that are just different because some people have take years of training or years of experience to even run into that situation where I've likely seen it once or twice. Detox tastes like a combination of grass, ass, and gas. I'm fucking weak.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I would say my most different moment was the house fire, of course. I felt very different about that, being on the news and just having to recover from all that. But like, without going deep into detail, that's for another time. Another different moment would probably be like I would say like the Pop Warner Championship at Alltel Stadium. That was a defining moment for me. Playing on the same field as the Jaguars, it made me feel different. There was only like 5 white guys on that team. That was the junior midget year. It was like 5 white kids that year. It was the last year at Alltel Stadium, and like I said, I really wanted to be a tight end or quarterback, and that was the year that I was going to the Bobby Bowden football camp I was telling you about this stream. So knowing that I just went to Alltel Stadium Championship, and I was on the offensive line, we lost that game 7-6, and we shouldn't have lost that game. We had a 4th and 1. I mean a first and goal that turned into a 4th and goal, but we were on the 1 yard line, and we did the same play 4 times, and they said we didn't get a touchdown. And that's why I felt different because like I was the guard that play, and I personally seen that we got that touchdown and they didn't give it to us. And we were kids. And I'm like, wow, like the refs are purposely selling us. Like they made us do another play after that. I'm like, hold on, like we just scored. And they literally beat us 7-6. They didn't score all game. They never scored a possession. And they only scored on a kickoff return. They scored on a kickoff return at halftime. Like it was scripted. Took it all the way back. And after seeing that they didn't give us that call on the goal, I asked my Uncle Willie if I could go play defense, and they wouldn't let me go play defense. And then the last drive, I got pulled from the game because I got a big penalty for clipping because I smashed this kid on the sideline because I was pissed about like it was about to be fourth down anyways, and they ended up completing the pass to my buddy Aaron Burrows, which was the guy that went to Florida State camp with me, and he made a huge play. He caught it at the 5-yard line, and the game was almost over, and I was pulled from that. So I was pulled the last 2 minutes of the game, and we didn't score, and we didn't know how to kick. We didn't have a kicker then either. So even if it was a 15-yard field goal, they didn't want us to kick it. I could kick then too. I was trying to kick, but they, like I said, they wouldn't. They never gave me a chance. So that's where I felt different at, because I'm like, damn, I just watched us get thrown by the refs at Pop Warner on the big stage. My buddy Aaron Burrows has made a moment after I just basically tried to play defense on offense because of my rage. And we just lost our chance to win the Pop Warner ring at Altel Stadium. The coach for my team ended up being in the Pop Warner Hall of Fame. His name's Coach Mickey. So that's absolutely wild. So yeah, and actually my buddy who passed away yesterday was on that football team. So it's good memories, man. You know, it was wild growing up where I was from. You know, just it's kind of wild to know like the path that I took to get where I'm at today. So you never know where one is going to end up at. I was in the newspaper once and I didn't appreciate it because I was living in a small town, so a lot of people knew who it was. Even though my name was never mentioned, I hid that side of my life until that day. Exactly. That's how I felt about the fire. But that's a way deeper and bigger conversation with that. So I definitely feel you. I had to literally, if you type in exclamation OPG story, it just says grandson saves grandmother. Doesn't say my name. Doesn't say anything. And I had to fight the news station. My mom will tell you that I had to fight the news camera station like after the fire because they were recording me live and I was burned and lacerated. And I was like, hey, can you please not show my grandma's home? Can y'all please relocate? And they're like, okay, we'll relocate. And they moved like 3 feet from our yard to the street. That was probably like the craziest moment. That's wild. Yeah, Yuri, I was in a bad house fire in the middle of my streaming career about a year and a half ago. I was about to say, yeah, you should know. So, yep. That'll be for another podcast, though. We'll do a podcast just for that. But yeah, so, I mean, I guess this podcast is mostly the chat's questions at first and then OPG and Mama time. OPG and Mama was just reflecting on times where she was raising me and memories of OPG. That's pretty dope. And everybody else's memories too, corresponding to the questions relative to me. It's pretty dope. I like that. So, let's see. What time did we do that podcast yesterday? You said, TK? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
It was the very start of stream yesterday. What time did I start streaming? It was late as fuck. Right? I didn't start till after 12. It's 1:30 now. 12 or 1? Okay. Well, I say, guys, that I think we did a good job. I think that's exactly the hour mark. Because at 8:37 or 27, that's when we started the podcast. Pretty sure it's 37 though. Sounds good, Yuri. Yesterday's podcast was super lit though, because it was at the beginning of stream and everybody was super active. So the questions. Plus, I was ready though. I already had pre-made questions. Today was just off the limb. But yeah, I don't know, man. If anybody has any fond memories that they want to share with chat where they felt different or proud of, share it. That would be awesome to hear about you guys. I'll ever get to open up about myself or talk about actions that happen with me with people that have seen it. So it was dope to share that with you guys with my mom too. Super dope. Maybe when the podcasts get like bigger and more active, I can invite people to my crib and do like a live podcast. Play them in a card game or actually have a setting where we're doing something. Hey, no problem, Luke. I appreciate you, baby. I'm gonna drop the podcast from yesterday here in like 30 minutes to an hour, so keep an eye out on that and try to share that out to your friends because obviously you're on that and you answered a lot of questions yesterday. So I can play Star Wars, yeah. I'm on PC, yes. But that shit was crazy, bro. The one
Later,
story,
Luke.
the one story about the breaking and entering, bro. They thought it was me, and my mom. I can't believe my mom don't remember that, bro. I was always in trouble though, so there was a lot of times police came by. You know what I'm saying? But it was all for like this other shit. But I can't believe she don't remember that, bro. Like I had finals at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I like just got home at like 4:35. It was at my door at 6:30. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what do y'all want? That's when iPhone first came out too. They're like, yeah, we'd like to know what time we were doing this or where you were at. It's like I was at home sleep. They're like, nah, you weren't at home sleep. Phone records show that you've been talking since 12 o'clock last night. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, they're on my head. I was scared, buddy. For no reason though, bro. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I ain't think nobody shit. I live in my mama crib, bro. I'm gonna hide at my mama house. I'm gonna be in trouble, bro. I got finals in the morning. All right, let's see if it's time for the YouTube chat before we get to Star Wars. Dan TK, I'm looking at an old hype train video from on TikTok.
What?
Yeah, from January. I'm about to post it. Oh,
Dope.
it was your name when you had a different color.
Wait, what's that?
It was your name when you had a different color. You had blue as your color.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I think that was like the first hype train I had in your
Yep.
stream.
Yep. Yeah, it was your first 10K drop. You went nuts on me. I didn't even know that. Level 6 hype train.
Oh, right. I copied you.
Nice. I'll tell you what, my arms and chest look good, but my stomach's back bloated. Not bloated, but not looking too weight. Oh, you fell. Alright, let me stop watching the stream.